right? Now, enter, I believe there was another special prosecutor that was involved at that time. I believe it was Conrad Klaus, who initiated 3 criminal complaints. Those 3 criminal complaints were against Detective Berkowitz in behalf of District Attorney Bob Beckett. They were against Detective Berkowitz in behalf of Scott Coble's daughter, and they were against Detective Berkowitz in behalf of Mr. Holmes. There were approximately 8 charges that were filed against Detective Berkowitz in behalf of Mr. Ted Holmes at that time when Conrad Klaus had the case. Detective Berkowitz turned himself in. He was OR'd, and within a couple days, those charges were dismissed, and he was let out of jail, and his record was expunged and everything else. Well, it's nice that he got all that because Mr. Holmes didn't. The cases that Conrad Klaus had were subsequently released back to Mr. Bob Beckett, and they were refiled. And what people don't understand is that when you refile those cases, and in this particular case, he had Ted Holmes' case, and he refiled it. Well, when he refiled that case against Detective Berkowitz, it kind of canceled out that case that Special Prosecutor Rex Bell had over on the side. So we were advised, after waiting more time, that that case had been retrieved from Special Prosecutor Rex Bell, and that it was going to be dismissed. We were elated. Now we're Assistant Sheriff Rick Marshall and Sheriff Tony DeMayo come involved into this is that DA investigator John Murata, who originally picked up Detective Schiller, took and instead of telling his boss, Bob Beckett, what was going on, he immediately called Assistant Sheriff Rick Marshall. Now, I did look at Investigator Murata's statement, and he did a very good statement, but nowhere in his statement did he mention that he made a phone call to Assistant Sheriff Rick Marshall. Well, that set a course of events where Schiller was contacted, interviewed, a photo lineup was done, and Mr. Holmes was arrested. All right, he was arrested on 1 count of impersonating a police officer, and then 1 count of resisting arrest. And when we picked up these files yesterday, we saw 8 counts. Some of the counts are repetitive in nature. There's obstruction charges here, and there's even one incident, from what I was told, that occurred about a year or so ago. And this is what you call classic stacking charges. You've got about 3 resisting arrest charges. You've got a couple of obstructing charges. You've got a delaying an investigation charge. And when you look at this, and this looks like to me the way that they're done in counts, that this is possibly something that was used as an affidavit. It's got a back sheet here that's not signed by anybody. Tony DeMayo is claiming that there's merits to this case, and I think in any court of law, this would get thrown out in the trash can because it looks very suspicious. Now, we all know anybody who lives in Nye County can go to jail for anything. In fact, I'm standing here because I heard that news release last night, and you know, we were here at 41. Everybody that was here heard that, and I know I heard my name for conspiracy to commit obstruction of justice. My intention is to go turn myself in. When I leave here, I'm going to go down to the sheriff's office. I'm going to contact Tony DeMayo, Rick Marshall, and give myself up as a sacrificial lamb, if nothing else, to show people not to be intimidated by what's going on here in Nye County. You know, now I was sitting in that room, and there was a lot of people in that room, so I'm going to be first in line to get arrested, because he's going to do a very thorough investigation, and I'm sure everybody in that room is going to go to jail. So I'm going to be first, so I can be the first out. All right? So unless you have any questions, I think I've said all I need to say.
I want to thank Mr. Mel Jackson, campaign manager for Ted Holmes. Thanks for speaking with us.
All right, thank you.